establishment of payment bank is being allowed. Mobile telephone companies and supermarket chains that are owned and controlled by residents are eligible to be promoted payment banks. Telephone companies, supermarket chains controlled by the residents are eligible, and payment banks cannot undertake lending activities and lending. धार नहीं देते. Mobile telephone companies, supermarket chains are owned and controlled by residents. Promote payment banks. Key aspirant to payment banks business include telecom firms, prepaid payment instrument, payment solution provider, retail chains, large business correspondents, business conglomerate cannot undertake lending activities. The telecom firms have an advantage over other mainly because they already have a distribution network in rural areas. Mobile companies. Reserve Bank of India reduces the statutory liquidity ratio 50 basis points. Which of the following like to happen? When Reserve Bank of India reduces the SLR by the 50 basis points, then scheduled commercial bank may cut their lending rates. Maybe SLR, statutory liquidity ratio. What is that lending rate? More money will supply to the bank consumers. Statutory liquidity ratio. The amount of money a bank needs to invest in certain specified securities. This is point. Money a bank needs to invest in certain specified securities, which are predominantly securities issued by the central government and state government. RBI fixes this limit. SLR is maintained in order to control the expansion of bank credit. By changing the level of SLR, Reserve Bank of India can increase or decrease bank credit expansion. Limit. The SLR is maintained in order to control the expansion of bank credit. By changing the level of SLR, Reserve Bank of India can increase or decrease bank credit expansion. Amount of money a bank needs to invest in certain specified securities, which are predominantly further lending rates. Bank debt. This is the following. Then economy. Bank rate. Monetary policy, bank rate, and open market operations. Bank rate and open market operations are the two components of monetary policy in India. Bank rate of interest, which is central bank charges on the loans and advances to a commercial bank. And open market operations, activity to buy or sell government bonds in the open market by a central bank. Open market by central banks. To buy or sell government bonds in the open market by central banks. Indian Renewable Agency Limited IREDA. This is the following statement. Both statement 1 and 2 are correct. Development Agency Limited IREDA, Indian Renewable Energy Development Agency. It is a public limited government company. It is a non-banking financial company. Public limited government company. It is non-banking financial company. The Development Agency IRDA is a public limited government company which was established in 1987 to promote, develop and extend financial assistance for renewable energy and energy efficiency. Motto of energy forever. IRDA has been notified as a public financial institution. 4. Of Company Act. Indian Renewable Energy Development Agency IRDA, public limited government company with which has 7. To promote, develop and extended financial assistance for renewable energy and energy efficiency. Promote, develop and extend financial assistance for renewable energy efficiency. It is the motto of Energy Forever. Public financial institution. Under Section 4A of the Companies Act 1956, registered as a non-banking financial company NBFC, the Reserve Bank of India, it has been awarded a mini category 1 status 2015 by Minister of New and Renewable Energy. IRDA, Indian Renewable Energy Development Agency, public limited government company which was established in 1987. Develop and extend financial assistance for renewable energy and energy efficiency conservation project. Energy motto Energy Forever. IRDA has been notified a public financial institution under Section 4A of the Company Act 1956 and registered as a non-banking financial company. In the context of Indian economy, which of the following is the purpose of statutory reserve requirement? Purpose of statutory reserve requirements. Requirement to enable the central bank to control amount of advance the bank can create. To enable the central bank to control the amount of advances the bank can create. To make the people deposit with the bank safe and liquid. The correct, because the purpose of statutory reserve requirement statutory is to enable the central banks to control amount of advances the banks can create. Statutory reserve requirement, statutory reserve to enable the central bank to control the amount of advance the bank can create. Reserve and to make the people deposit with the banks safe and liquid. Reserve requirements is enable to central bank to control the amount of advances the bank can create. It also ensures to make people deposit with the bank safe and liquid. Safe and liquid. In India, the statutory liquid SLR refers to the minimum reserve requirement that needs to be maintained by the commercial bank. Minimum reserve requirement that needs to be maintained by commercial banks. Minimum reserve requirements commercial banks in the nation. Commercial banks are required to keep in liquid form like government securities and other bonds. SLR ensures that there is a solvency in commercial banks, assure that banks invest the government securities, make people deposit with the banks safe and liquid. Reserve requirements is enable to central bank to control the amount of advances the banks can create, so that make people deposit with the bank safe and liquid. It ensures make people deposit with the bank safe and liquid. Make people deposit with the bank safe and liquid. Safe and liquid.